How do you want to go about starting this? I don't know. I hope my shirt looks good. I will probably be the first person in a room to admit that romantic comedies are my least favorite genre of film. I see them as pretty uninteresting movies with overused tropes, and I just never really emotionally engage with them. So with the teaser trailer released for Elemental, I was like, oh, it's Pixar's Zootopia. And the more trailers that were released, it became very clear it's a romantic comedy. So I was not the most excited I've ever been to see a Pixar movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a huge Pixar fanatic. I mean, I own all the Blu-rays. I have a Doug Stuffy. I have Soul in a frame because it's Pixar's best movie. Not my favorite though, that is Up. But I just assumed Elemental was not gonna be that good. And boy, was I wrong. This video sort of contains spoilers for Elemental, but you've been warned just in case. Welcome back everyone to the Grizzly Reviews channel. I hope you've all had a wonderful 2023 since I last made a video, which was the Knock at the Cabin review. And I've really needed this little hiatus. I just realized Indiana Jones is not up here. Since my last video, so many things have happened. My birthday came and went in March. I got a whole bunch of new stuffies, including this little ghost face. Doug up there was a gift. I went to Disney World and got that little train plushie for the Runaway Railway. I renewed my lease. I am just seeing so many fucking good movies this year. So if you do want me to review any 2023 releases, just leave a comment below which movies you want me to cover. But the big piece of news I have for you is that in April I started seeing this wonderfully talented man, and we are almost nearing a month and a half of our officially being in a relationship, and I gotta say, it's just been fucking wonderful. That big life update is the reason I got so excited to see Elemental. Seeing movies with my partner has just made them feel so much more special because they're a shared experience. We saw Elemental together as the first movie in a double feature date. Second was Flash. And I was just emotionally stunned by Elemental, and I've now seen it twice. The 27th film by Pixar, Elemental is the story of Ember Lumen. Raised by fire immigrants who moved to Element City, Ember has big plans to take over her father's shop. But when an accident causes her path to cross with a water person named Wade Ripple, the two become intertwined in a way that will change their lives forever. That's my personal synopsis of this movie. I think it's perfect. I think it's better than anything elsewhere that's been posted as a synopsis for the movie. I'm gonna get this out of the way now. Elemental might be Pixar's best movie since Soul, and potentially even since Inside Out. Yes, it's that ridiculously good. The animation on display is picture perfect in every single frame. There's a brief shot in the middle of the movie of simply just sand and a shovel picking it up. Both times I've seen this movie, that shot has absolutely floored me. And it's fucking sand. Whenever have you seen a movie and gone, you know what? That shot of sand, really fucking good stuff. No, it's Pixar. It's the magic of Pixar. I love Pixar movies. There's so much imagination, creativity, and world building, all shown through simply the animation. How all the elements work and their abilities because of the property that they are. It just makes everything seem so lived in and interesting. It's truly an incredible work. A lot of what's done through the animation of this movie is what emotionally hits me. Sometimes there's a few minutes in between lines of dialogue that you're just experiencing what Ember and Wade are experiencing. And you feel like you're sharing this extremely special moment with them. The way Ember and Wade sometimes just simply look at each other, it just makes you cry. Like, you feel for them. Speaking of Ember and Wade, I completely love them as individuals and especially love them as a couple. I felt for their personal struggles and how that shaped their worldview and their specific priorities. I understood the expectations they put on themselves and their perceived expectations that other people have for them. Especially from Ember, who we will get into in a little bit, I promise. I fell in love with this movie as these characters felt for each other. It's truly special and spectacular. And what emotionally impacted me even more than the movie itself is the song produced for this movie. Steal Your Show by Lauv has the potential to be the best song ever created for a Pixar movie. Yes, even better than You Got a Friend in Me. There just hasn't been a song by Pixar that has perfectly encapsulated the tone and vibe and emotional depth of that movie in a song. And Steal Your Show does that completely, and I love it so much. It moves me every time I listen to it, and it makes me reflect on my own relationship and just how much he means to me. And the score as a whole is literal perfection itself. This is already up there for me as a contender for Best Original Score. I love the music in this movie so much. I'm gonna get a little bit in depth with the characters, and I'm gonna start with Wade as he's the most simple of the two leads, but still being his own emotionally complex person. Wade is someone whose emotions are always visible for everyone to see. He cries a lot, and it's very often. It's so interesting to see how all of the water people are in tune with their emotions. Every one of them cries so often. They just know what they want to say and they say it every time. Wade is extremely personable. He's able to pull emotions out of everyone else, even those who close themselves off to feeling their emotions fully. I see a lot of myself in Wade. I'm a deeply emotional person. I mean, you can tell I'm Wade just by watching me watch this movie. I'm crying mostly the whole time. While laughing, the first time I saw this movie, I think I was the person that laughed the most. I bawled my eyes out during both times I saw this movie. One of my favorite moments in the movie is a very small exchange of dialogue where Wade notices something wrong with Ember. He asks if she's okay, and after her reply of, "Yeah, I'm fine," he simply just asks, "Are you sure?" It allows Ember to see that he deeply cares about her and wants to know what's on her mind. And so she opens up about a deeply personal story that happened in her childhood. Wade is voiced by Mamadou Athie, who just does a fucking incredible job. He has such skill in displaying the big range of complex emotions that Wade goes through. You saw Mamadou Athie last year in Jurassic World Dominion. Thankfully, though, Elemental is giving him time to shine as an actor, where I think that Jurassic World Dominion did not really get to do that. Big shout out as well to Catherine O'Hara, who voices Wade's mother, Brooke. Such a funny character. Everything she says is hilarious and perfect. I love Brooke so much. Same with Wendy McClendon Covey, who voices Gale. Outstanding work. Ember is the main character of this story. Through her, we not only get to see this beautiful romance blossom, but we also get to see a deeply emotional immigrant story. Ember's parents migrated to Element City before she was born, and her father built a whole store out of a broken down building in a community where no one was wanting to live. And that effectively began the community safe haven for all of the fire people that eventually migrated to Element City as well. So Ember was raised with the business as she grew, and part of her maturation as an adult was paired with her hopes of one day taking over the shop for her father. Ember, however, now feels trapped by that sacrificial burden her father made moving to Element City. She wants to live out her own individual dreams, but doesn't know how to communicate those feelings to her father without the fear of her letting him down get in the way. That's why she turns purple all the time. It's her fear showing, not her anger. But internalizing that fear causes her to lose her temper and lash out. She loses her temper a lot in this movie, and it's kind of wild to see a character have to deal with the everyday people managing of a retail store. It's just so funny to see like her deal with like Karens and stuff like that. Elemental is a deeply emotional story about the taxing expectations immigrant families place on their children. It's one that Peter Sohn, the director of Elemental, he also directed The Good Dinosaur, he lived through this. It's his personal experience because his parents migrated from Korea to New York. And because this movie is so deeply personal to the people that made it, you can just tell the amount of care that went into this movie. Not a single moment is wasted in this film. I completely feel the growth of Ember as she learns to stand up for what she wants in life. And Ember is voiced by Leah Lewis, who I think if the Oscars had a Best Voice Acting award, she should deserve it because of the work she does as Ember. It's fucking outstanding. I love Ember as a character so much, and just Leah Lewis's work is phenomenal. So Disney and Pixar have kind of been on a trend of having their stories be very family focused and family trauma causing the state that these characters are emotionally in. But what I loved in Elemental is that her parents were never villainized for the expectations that Ember feels she has from them. Ember just thinks everything that's wrong in her life is because of her. She feels like she's failing, that she's being a bad daughter, and she's not recognizing that her father's dreams are not so physically tangible in the store itself. And that's causing this unnecessary weight of expectation that she's putting on herself. And at this point in her life, she's cracking under that pressure. And Ember's parents are absolutely wonderful. The movie gives them, as supporting characters, so much time to shine and just let them be fully realized people. I love the two of them so fucking much. They're such a cute couple themselves. The humor in Elemental is next level. I think it's some of Pixar's best adult humor in any of their movies, between the kinky little Claude and his armpit flowers, and every time he says, "My queen."
And I smell good. Ow, my queen.
It makes me like giggle to no end. And then the scene that you've seen in the trailers with those trees pruning each other, that's just like little kinky stuff that kids are gonna pick up on. That's so fucking funny. The editing in this movie is hilarious. I think every joke works perfectly. So many double entendres, so many wind fart puns. It's just great stuff. One thing I want to touch on, which I don't have a huge grasp on, so if someone wants to leave a comment down below, or if someone wants to make a video about it, I would love to know, is about the religion going on in the world of Elemental. The fire people believe in a higher power. At one point, Ember says God. I don't know if she means big G or just little g God. There's no subtitles for me to look at, so I don't know what she's saying. So I don't know what the context of that is. But their blue flame is their connection to this higher deity, I believe. And I just want to know what their religion is, what it stands for. I want to learn as much as I can about it. The most interesting thing Elemental does is the world building of it. And part of that is the religion, and I think that's deeply interesting. So yeah, Elemental for me is literal perfection. I think all of these naysayers with the movie are kind of wrong. I don't think they're in the right mindset potentially to see this movie. I would totally recommend, if you have a partner, go see it with them. I think it'll make this movie even more special for you. Part of why I think I love this movie so much is because I got to see it with Anthony. And I was just being able to pick up on all the subtle things happening in Wade and Ember's relationship. and being able to relate that to mine. And I just like fell to tears because of that. I love absolutely everything about this movie. The story, the characters, the music, the animation, the cinematography, editing, direction are all masterclass perfection and potentially some of Pixar's best work. It's a true best animated film contender this year. So for me, Elemental is going to get a 10 out of 10. 2023 has just been on a fucking roll with its movies, and Elemental is the one that, since I've seen it, has been the one that stuck in my mind the most. It's a movie that reminds you why you love Pixar and why you love movies in general, because they can take you on these complex emotional journeys and teach you things about life as an immigrant that you probably wouldn't have known before. Especially for a kid, like for a kids movie, getting into the for a kids movie, getting into those specific complex things just makes that feel special. It's giving children the possibility of seeing someone else's perspective in a film. And I think that in itself is special. I'm never gonna forget seeing this movie with Anthony, and I think it's a memory that I'll always treasure. Literal core memory. Fuck. Wow. You need to go see Elemental, and if you have already, leave a comment down below what you thought about the movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think everyone should go see it? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye! Carl's Date was the short that they showed before this, and while it was cute, it just felt like another episode of Doug Days rather than something completely individual on its own. So that was unfortunate. I really wish they gave us something more original as the short rather than it be something from a pre-existing IP. But it was okay. I hope that Pixar goes to more original stuff. I liked Carl's Date. It was pretty good.